Guys, I'm Lisa and welcome to Forensic Fiesta Online Expo. Today I am super excited to talk to you about forensic DNA. So I'm going to start by introducing to you to what is DNA. So basically DNA is the hereditary material that is stored in cells nucleus in humans' body. Fun fact, there are 99.9% of humans' DNA sequences are all the same in every person's body. But in forensic science, we are looking at the 0.01% difference in every person's DNA except for identical twins. DNA profiling is a forensic technique in criminal investigations where the investigator will compare the criminal's DNA profiles to the DNA on the evidence encountered in the crime scene. The aim of this process is to assess the likelihood of the suspect's involvement in the crime scene. DNA analysis has been proved to be a useful tool for crime scene investigation, which helps in criminal justice system. So at the crime scene, the investigator will collect the items that may have these DNA materials, which may have been touched or worn by the persons that involved in a crime. Eventually, this explains the locus exchange principle, which states that whenever two objects come in contact, the transfer of material will occur. In this video, you will also be learning on how to collect DNA sample. So have fun and stay tuned, guys.
Good morning. My name is Shalini, daughter of Parthiban. I am going to show you all how to collect DNA sample from a suspect or victim from a crime scene using buccal swab collection method. This is sterile collection swab and this is FDA microcard. We are going to collect buccal swab sample from the suspect and going to store using this microcard. This microcard has many advantages because it can store DNA sample up to 16 years. So after several years, when the case has been come to court again and there is any problem, we can still have the storage of the sample that we can further do analysis in future. Cheek cells will be collected using the sterile collection swab. Peel it off, take out the cotton swab. Rub onto the buccal to collect the cheek cells on the cotton swab for about few seconds. After that, transfer the collected DNA sample onto this microcard. This microcard will change color from yellow to white, indicated that successful DNA sample has been collected onto this card. After that, this microcard has been completely dried. We will be using Harris micro punch to transfer this DNA sample into microcentrifuge tube for DNA extraction method. From here we can see this is the yellow medium and this is the white color medium. So we should make sure that we collect the DNA, the white region only. This Harris micro punch has a sharp tip here that can actually make the microcard hold to collect the DNA. Push it. Okay, here it already make a hole and the DNA sample has been collected at the tip of this Harris micro punch. And then transfer this to here into the microcentrifuge tube. Here may contain impurities which might distract the DNA band in the result. Therefore, we should purify it first before the PCR reaction. Here we are going to purify it using the FDA purification reagent and TAE buffer. Wash the DNA sample we collected with FDA purification reagent 3 times using this pipette method. Repeat this with FDA purification 3 times and TAE buffer 2 times. The next step after DNA purification is PCR reaction. For PCR reaction, we need to add DNA polymerase, DNTP, magnesium chloride, tag buffer and primers forward and reverse for the reaction to take place. This entire mixing of reaction for PCR process should be carried out in ice. After the mixing of the NTP, DNA polymerase and all other PCR components, we should transfer this DNA sample from the microcentrifuge tube to PCR tube to be inserted in the thermocycler. In PCR reaction, we will use thermocycler. The main purpose of PCR is to amplify the DNA fragments into million copies. This is the DNA that we prepared just now. We place it inside this thermocycler. This thermocycler got 96 valves, so it can amplify 96 DNA samples in a single time. And then on the screen, we can set our own protocol and then we can run the sample. Here you can set the volume that needed 25 microliter or 50 microliter. This instrument is called as UV transilluminator. The function of this instrument is to visualize the DNA band integrated in the gel under the UV ray.
There are 5 characters involved in case 1, rape and murder. First is Ain, the student. Second is Ahmad, the grab driver. Third, Ali, the owner of the grocery store. Fourth, Samad, the employee at Ali's grocery store. And fifth is unknown man. The story begins when a student wanted to go home after a study session at a tuition center at 10 p.m. As usual, she would go home with Grab. Once the Grab she ordered arrived, she immediately got in. On the way home, in the car, the Grab driver, Ahmad, started a conversation. Ahmad, who do you live with? And Ain, I live with my family. And Ahmad again, oh, I see. Is your parents already home? Ain, usually they will be home by now because it's already past the office hours, right? And Ahmad, that's right. Ain. Ain, who is friendly, answered all his questions. After 10 minutes in the car, Ain became skeptical because she should have arrived at a place, but Ahmad took a different route than she usually takes. Ain asked Ahmad, Ain, Uncle, where are we going? Ahmad, I want to stop by the grocery store to buy cigarette. Once arrived, Ahmad went to buy cigarettes and left Ain alone in the car. When Ahmad arrived at his car, he saw that Ain was not there. Ahmad went round and looked for her. Unfortunately, the grocery store is surrounded by forest. Ahmad was confused to find Ain, but he still did not find her. He asked the grocery owner if he saw a female student or not. Ali looked for his worker to ask the same thing. Ali, Samad! Oh, Samad! Samad! Huh? He's not here? He suspected his employee because his employee is an ex-offender. Suddenly, Ahmad remembered that he stumbled with a man wearing a black sweater, ripped pants, a black hat, and engrossed in scratching his body. He looked at the man suspiciously by his appearance. After Ain did not show up for a long time, Ahmad immediately called the police. Police arrived and started to investigate. Ahmad and Ali were questioned by the police. At that moment, Ali's employee suddenly appeared while wiping his clothes. He did not seem to know anything that happened and was also questioned by the police. After almost 3 hours of searching, the police team found Ain naked and covered in blood in the forest nearby. Ain has been raped and murdered. Police also managed to arrest the suspect who was hiding at the crime scene. The evidence found in connection with DNA. First, is victim's blood on the stone. Second, the semen found on victim's body and the suspect's semen. Third, the hair of victim and the suspects.